All right. Oh, hey, subscriber.
Hello.
We have something a little bit different for you today. And it's not just the new blinds in the windows, although those are pretty fantastic. That was Cindy's surprise for me on my not birthday. Happy unbirthday to me.
Right.
But
We're at home, by the way. This is our home.
Yes.
And yes, we got new blinds for the windows. We got them. Okay.
So we will get to the something different here in a minute. Mm-hmm. But in the last video, we were in Pennsylvania at the Waterside RV Park and Campground or something like that. Do you remember that?
I do not.
With the canals by it? She does not.
In Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
In the last video?
Yeah. We did the Turnpike.
I thought we went to Colonial Airstream in the last
We
video.
did. We went to Colonial. And then we drove on the Turnpike. Went through the toll booth.
Okay.
And drove up to the Waterside RV Resort. Well, it wasn't a resort. It's a campground. It was nice.
Okay.
I think the...
Was that in the video?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to watch that again.
Maybe you should watch it the first time.
I did.
Okay.
I actually lived it. I just don't remember.
Did you like and subscribe?
I don't remember.
Well, you should. When you watch it, like and subscribe. When you go watch it again, you'll say, oh, I've already liked this. I must have seen it. And then you can just watch the rest of it anyway. So, but trust me, we were at the Waterside and it rained. The thing is... This was probably one of, if not the steepest grades that we had to do coming out of that RV park and getting up to our stop in Ohio.
Oh, I remember that now. Yes.
Okay, yay.
Yes.
Do you want to tell
the
about that?
Waterside Park. That was where the really dark truck was parked right next to us, and
Yes,
I thought that was a really
she fell in love
sexy
with
truck.
the truck. And we started, yeah.
Okay.
That's when we really started truck shopping.
Yeah.
Was then, and
that was a really nice park. I'm so sorry I didn't remember.
Park. It was a nice truck.
In my defense, we were only there one night.
We were. We got the sticker, because here's our thing about stickers. We're not one who are like,
well, you have to spend a month there and have a job for 3 weeks
before you can put a sticker on your RV.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
No.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
We have to stop and spend money.
We do?
We do.
This is a new
every
rule to
state
me.
We have stopped and
I'm
spent
down.
money.
Can I spend the money?
Or at least, I think in...
Because I don't think we did in Maryland. I mean,
in
Maryland, we were only there for like 4 minutes as we drove through.
We had lunch at the...
How does he remember?
We had lunch at the rest stop, and we got gas.
Oh, that kind of spending money.
Yeah, we don't have to stay overnight.
I thought you meant like shopping.
You always do.
Thought maybe a new house plant.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we didn't spend a lot of time in Pennsylvania, but we spent the night at the Waterside Park. Back around to that.
Who knew that was in Pennsylvania? Clearly I didn't.
Our intent was to see the fall colors. It didn't work out that way. Fall was
We were
late.
a little too early.
Yeah, fall was late anyway. And we were
So
on a
we
tight
weren't too
schedule.
early. Fall was just late?
Fall was late
Okay.
because it was a warm fall. You might remember from New Jersey.
Yeah.
So, anywho,
Sweaty fall.
we pulled out that morning to do probably the steepest grade. I think it was a mile, maybe 2. But keep in mind, Larry is a gas engine.
Okay, by steep, what do you mean?
I mean, a steep climb.
But what number? Like percent?
I'll
Aren't
put
there
that here.
percentages?
It's,
You have
yeah,
to check.
I have to check.
But on the RV Trip Wizard, it had like the
It was bright
thing went
red,
straight
yeah.
straight up and said "Danger, Will Robinson."
It did.
Okay.
Danger, Will Robinson. Danger.
And it was raining like crazy. It was pouring rain. You'll hear it in the video. No problem. I mean, right up the hill, it was great.
I mean, we went slow.
Well, we always do when we're going uphill.
Right. Because
We
that's
did
all
that.
we can do
Right.
in Larry.
In Larry. Congratulations. You did it.
That's it?
That's it. That's the top.
Well, nothing. What are these guys all stopping for? Is it really bad going down? Is it steeper going down? Why are they sitting there? They're worried about going down. They don't want to go down in the rain. Is that it?
Maybe. You've got a lot of questions.
You don't know the answer to my question. I want to get some good video of fall color and then put it to the track of just asking, oh, that's
The foliage! Let's drive by the foliage!
the leaves are dying.
And after we made that climb up the hill, the sun came out, and it was quite a pretty drive. We continued on up the mountain and got on the interstate, and eventually got back off the interstate because we like to do that, and made our way to what is one of my favorite Thousand Trails parks, and that is Kennesee Lake.
Somebody missed the turn at Thousand Trails again.
Who was that?
Well, no, that's what these
Oh.
people are saying when they see somebody turn in here.
They should mark that sign better. Kennesee Lake RV Resort.
Look at that pretty lake. Oh my gosh. Looks like this used to be where you checked in.
Yes.
It was
Very
beautiful.
nice.
It was beautiful. The park was nice. It's shoulder season because we're in October by now, and so the park was mostly empty. So of course, the pool's closed. Well, there's nobody playing shuffleboard and horseshoes.
We
and
don't go to the
all
pool
that, yeah.
anyway.
But they had all the amenities there during the season, and all the quietness
It was so nice.
off season. It was.
It felt like a 55
Beautiful.
plus park.
It
didn't
really
it?
did because we didn't. See
I don't
anybody.
remember seeing any kids.
I don't remember
Or
seeing anybody.
really any people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so nice, and it was so pretty, and we're backed up to the water. Did you already say that?
I did not.
Okay, we were backed up to the
We
water.
did get a spot.
A little
Up.
little
Yeah.
lake. Well, the
Kennesee
Kennesee
Lake.
Lake.
It's one of the lakes.
Okay.
There's a couple there. So, and I mean, there were just geese everywhere. It's that, travel season for geese.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just beautiful. here's where it's something different for us in the video is, and the bulk of this video is actually going to be, we went to visit a good friend of Cindy's and now a good friend of mine that she met online.
A
on
good
Instagram.
friend that I only knew on Instagram at this point.
And tell them how you met this friend online. First, we'll tell you who it is. This is Billy Ritter. Billy Ritter is a potter, and Cindy has taken up pottery. And I will tell you, this is a Billy Ritter mug. That's his work. Pretty cool stuff.
Bought this from the hands of the potter
Right.
himself.
So I will say as a preface to other things we'll talk about, Billy Ritter is probably one of the kindest, gentlest, most
Coolest.
talented,
Oh, incredibly talented.
wisest, most zen people
So
I've ever
zen.
met.
So zen.
I mean, if
He's
yeah.
so cool. He does. So on Instagram, Billy Ritter 77, at Billy Ritter 77, and he does pottery lunch hour, hashtag pottery lunch hour, and he'll just sit in his studio and just kind of talk about his thoughts, maybe something that he's thought about that's going on in the universe, and he just likes to talk to people. He does this live pottery lunch hour. So awesome. Oh my gosh. Even if you don't like pottery, you'll love Billy.
Yeah.
And his pottery is so inspiring. His studio is great. Okay, sorry.
So speaking of the studio, we went into, I always get it mixed up, Cleveland.
Downtown Cleveland.
I got it right, because that's where his studio was, and it's in an old,
The old Hildebrandt building.
the Hildebrandt building where they used to bake hams.
Right,
And he explains
back
it in the
day.
video, so we won't get too much into that. While we were camping in Jefferson, Ohio, we thought we would come into Cleveland, Ohio, and see one of Cindy's best friends, right?
Instagram friends.
Instagram friend, someone who she just loves watching his videos and talking with him.
He's a potter,
He's a potter.
and he's very inspiring. Billy Ritter. You've got to go check out Billy Ritter on Instagram. He's awesome. He does lunch hour, pottery lunch hour, and he's just a cool dude. And I'm so excited to meet him in person and to see his amazing studio right here in downtown Cleveland. So yeah,
All right, let's go.
let's go.
Somewhere here in this cool old complex. So that is pretty awesome. He's in this building right over here. Okay. And there's coffee over here, from what I heard, at Rising Star Roastery. It's a little smoky. It smells dank. There's cameras everywhere. So artsy. Look at this. How excited are you? And there he is.
It's Billy Ritter!
No way! You guys just appeared. That was so perfect.
Oh my God!
What's up, Cindy? How are you?
Oh, good to meet
Nice
you.
to see ya.
So
This
good to
guy,
meet you. My husband D.
D.
Hi. Nice
I saw
to meet
you
you.
with and without a filter.
Which do you prefer?
Yeah, I prefer in person.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
So where did you guys come from? Where did you drive all the way here from?
We're just,
Arizona.
yeah.
Damn. what
Just
part?
today.
Yeah, right.
Shut up. No way. That's impossible because I drove out of Texas and that took me 3 days.
We actually left home September 1st,
Oh, okay.
and we went, we went through New Mexico and all sorts of things. Anyways,
Couple days through Texas.
Couple days
and
through Texas, yeah, and then we had an Airstream caravan that we were working our way towards, which started in North Carolina.
Yeah.
Somewhere in North Carolina, I can't remember now. I've slept since then, and so we were on a 10-day caravan 19 other Airstreamers, which was super fun. And we traveled along the Blue Ridge Parkway.
No way.
Yeah. So we did that for
awesome.
10
Drove
days.
that.
And we stayed in 3 different places, and we went zip lining, and we went
Whitewater
whitewater
rafting.
rafting, and we went and visited the Biltmore Mansion in Asheville, North Carolina.
Yeah.
So the caravan was so much fun. It was just
Oh,
so
that's
much fun.
great.
And then
That's
when
so
that was
great.
done, then we just headed out on our own and started going up the East Coast. We're used to the West Coast.
Yeah.
And when you drive up the one on the West Coast,
Yeah,
you have ocean over here
Totally.
and land over here. And when you're driving up the East Coast, you can't see the ocean. You don't know where it is.
You really can't. And you
Yeah.
have to go from like town to town and poke
Up
around
and
through
yeah.
there, and you get little snippets of it.
And you're pulling a 30-foot Airstream, and
Man.
And so we said hi, you know, how you doing, that kind of thing. And then he took us on a tour of the
whole building,
complex,
the whole complex.
Really.
Oh, so we never
And it's-
expected that.
We got a history lesson.
You want to start out at the front? And I'll just
Absolutely.
get you through the whip.
We're
Some
here to follow
folks are
you.
Here, it's kind of slender on weekdays, but come on out and I'll start you out front. There's some pics. Up on the wall, there's a little bit of history up here. This is the guy, Charles Hildebrandt. So he was born in 1865. Him and his buddy, I think they were probably in their 40s, and they decided to start smoking hams and stuff. And this was immediately a hit because this happened like around a little bit before 1900. I guess they were in their 30s. And so they were like weekend warriors, and they'd smoke hams, and then they'd take them out to the West Side Market, which this is a shot of West Side Market. Like they got a booth there, and they would go in, they'd bring all their hams, and then they would just sell out, and then they'd sell out. And they were so good at it that they decided, they had made so much money, they decided to build this. And this building is like, I don't even know how many square feet it is, but it spans a whole city block. And so they created this operation here in Charles Hildebrandt. These guys, they are the mob. Like,
Yeah, they look like it. They look like it.
yeah. So they created this. Basically, what you can't see in this part of like walking around and looking is inside of this building. There's this giant carousel that's built into the walls, and it's basically a giant rotisserie. And they, Charles Hildebrandt, like drew this up, and the welders made it. And it was so they could like expedite and move so many hundreds of pounds of meat, right? Like smoke all this meat. This whole building is basically set up like a giant kiln. Like it has all these drafts and louvers and home boards and wood boards.
That's amazing.
It's crazy, and it goes on forever. But so they have that whole industry going, and it ran very successfully into the 1970s. But in the 1970s, what happened, boys and girls, is that Richard Nixon, I am not a crook, Richard Nixon partnered with the guys in the steel industry, and they decided that all commercial kitchens and food preparations had to be fully lined floor to ceiling with stainless steel. And it was just out of the grasp that they financially could not afford to do that because it was incredibly expensive. And so they had to roll back their kind of empire that they had built. And so it became something different. And this building started to, as many of the buildings across America and the Midwest started to get kind of like spanned out to other things, right? Like there's a building over here, it was the Joseph Weiss cloth craft building, and then you didn't see here this building here. They made clothes. But in 1990, they were bought out by Hugo Boss, and all of their production went to China. And then all of those people that worked there lost all their jobs. And then that building sat abandoned, like a lot of the buildings across the United States. You didn't know you were going to get a history tour.
I love it, though.
I love it. We love history.
We do.
So then after that, lucky for the Hildebrandts, it stayed in the family. They kept it, and they Charles Hildebrandt's best son, one of his best sons, Bill Hildebrandt, took over the operations. And Bill thought, he was a very imaginative, creative guy. He thought, what if I start to get my creative people in here that like to do stuff? And so he started to network out with all his friends in the community, and they started to come into these spaces, right? And just kind of keep them alive with their ideas. This was during the time of the 1980s when everybody's grandpa went to Radio Shack and bought weird stuff, wired it, and made things out of it. So like those dudes were in here. There were like woodworkers, there were, you know, craftspeople. And then people that weren't craftspeople that collected weird stuff, like there was this guy, Joe Marco, and all he collected was like old circus equipment, like old, I'm sorry, not circus, like rides and stuff. Like the Tilt-A-Whirl, like there was a room upstairs where it was just like all these old carnival rides and stuff. And they weren't like, you couldn't use them, they were just there. Like you collected them.
Right.
So then that happened for a while. And then there was some tipping point around 2000-ish where Bill Hildebrandt said, okay, it's just going to be artists. So my friend Todd Leach, this is our space up here, these three windows, the building of dreams, that's where we're at. So those three windows, Todd Leach was actually the first person here, and he and his wife Stephanie moved in. They built this super great gas kiln, which you're going to see. I'm going to point that out to you. And so they were here, and that was like 2005, I want to say. And then slowly people started to come and find interest. And so from 2005 to 2015 to 2023, we are now at a point where every single square foot of this space is occupied by creative people.
That's so cool.
And there's a waiting list of people that just want to come.
Wow. You're so fortunate.
I know,
That's
right?
so cool,
I know.
Billy.
I think of that every day.
So
lucky to
awesome.
be here in this space.
And I love that you just know the history of it. And
You gotta know, because the back
that's so
part
cool.
informs the front part. So today, like in a just quick spin, this space here, we have a really big coffee company here called Rising Star.
That smells amazing.
Yeah, they're like roasted beans every day. They have, I want to say 6 or 7 locations across Cleveland. Over in this wing, we got a state-of-the-art gallery abattoir behind that door. That, I think that's Margie Hildebrandt, actually. Is it? Yeah, it is. Margie Hildebrandt. So I told you all about Bill Hildebrandt, the Visioneer. This is his wife.
Oh, cool.
Bill passed away a few years ago, but Margie's keeping the dream alive with us.
That's so cool.
Hey, what's happening?
How are you?
Good, good.
We're getting a tour.
Getting a tour?
Oh yeah, the whole thing, the whole thing.
You got a good tour tonight.
Thanks.
We see that.
Well, hey, come on up. I'll bring you guys over here. A lot of the history, like this cul-de-sac, was part of the original way this building was heated. And it was in crazy disrepair, and Joe, who is Margie's son, he got this grant for it, and we brought this crew in and they retuck pointed and rebuilt the whole smokestack.
That's
this
crazy.
past year. So this is it. This is where they came in.
So amazing.
The home of the Hildebrandt Wieners. Right there. Isn't this like such a majestic entrance?
It is awesome.
And
It's
this
so cool.
fence,
Here, come here, Billy.
yeah.
I need Billy.
Okay. This entrance, when we do shows and stuff, we'll close this up. It's like people like wait outside. It's
Wow.
cool. Yeah. But come on in. This is the original. Wait, right here. Offices. It's like a squirrel.
Moose and squirrel.
Hey, Rocky, watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat.
Time warp. So the original offices. Paula is here with Storehouse Tea. If you love tea, you can pop in and see Paula. Here's a little bit more about the history of the whole thing.
So cool.
Yeah.
Oh, the building itself.
It's wild to think about, like, so this started in 1900, like, we didn't have vehicles yet. There were horses, and the horse barn was out back.
Oh my God.
I was in the basement in the catacombs, I call it, exploring one day, and I came across this skull, and I was like, Joe, that's gotta be one of the original horses. And he said, it probably is. I said, it's gotta go up front with the history stuff. The whole operation, or they work out of. This actually used to be where. Well, no. This actually was where you would come in. Like if we worked here, you would come in over here, and there was a window with a hole, and you would tell the people in the kitchen what you wanted, and then you would get your food and then go out to. Like some of these old closets and coolers and stuff are pretty terrifying. So this is the wing it'll take us back to where we started.
It was amazing.
We got a tour of, you know.
He all the time on his account, he tells people, "Come see me at my studio. I'm here from this time to this time on these days. You know, come see me. Come see my studio." I mean, he'll give you the I can't guarantee he would give you that whole tour.
But he's obviously proud of the building. He's proud of his workspace and what he's done there, and rightly so.
Oh, for sure.
It's pretty amazing. Sorry about the. Well, that won't show up. Jimmy's being Jimmy.
Digging a hole, getting ready to make a blanket fort.
Camera comes out, Jimmy goes wild. Ooh, I'm on camera. It's a little boy. Say hi to our subscriber.
Yeah, hi, subscriber.
There you go. Back to it. Nope, he's going to come across. Anywho, and there were many, many other artists in that building.
Yeah.
And we walked through it, and you know, they're just hard at work. There were a few of them there. Constant renovations going on there. It's just super cool. Part of it was stables back in the day. We got to see that.
So all of these wood glass boxes were open, and if you walk by the horses, you would see their hats in there.
Cool.
Yeah, and then they would bring the hay and straw and stuff up there.
And I think it's in that part that there was the glass blower.
Ah.
And we got to see him. He wasn't at work, but he gave us a demonstration of how the things there work and showed us.
With the glass. Oh, so cool.
And it's got black light too. So the idea is, now this is usually mounted up in here, it just needed some adjustment. I haven't finished with it, but you get the basic idea.
That's great.
How cool is that?
That's awesome.
It's a smile.
And in the Halloween spirit too. So.
And this is our main furnace that holds the clear glass. And this little furnace is a new design. I just finished putting together. We're using that as a
Tour.
I'll give you a little synopsis. This is a little on the cold side right now, but it's still cold enough that I can gather it up like honey. I should have preheated this stick somewhat for the sake of demonstration. You can see it's not really runny right now. That's what I mean, it's on the cold side. It's still about 2,000 degrees, very pliable like taffy.
The cold side of 2000.
And also, the rod was cold when I put it in, so it sucked a lot of that initial heat out, acting as a heat sink.
That's glass.
So, yes, this is just clear glass. It
Yeah.
looks orange because it's glowing like an ember in a fire. It's so hot. It's putting off its own wavelengths of light. But you can see, especially when it gets thin and it gets cool, that it starts to stiffen up pretty quickly. See how it's not bending as much, and eventually it won't bend anymore.
That is incredible.
And at that point, it becomes able to be fractured. So we're working between the molten point and that 1,000-degree point where it becomes breakable. Under that temperature range, things can start to crack and break from cooking too quickly. That's why we have the containment barrels. That's why I should have safety glasses on.
Wow, very cool.
It's just a little short example.
Thank you. That's incredible.
It was pretty good. So as I said, I got here in 2015. And when I did, it didn't look like this at all. But, for a lot of hours, it just kind of working. A lot of upcycling, Cindy. A lot of upcycling. These cabinets, someone threw in the dumpster. Because they didn't have any shelves in them. So I put shelves in them. And we got shelves. This table, dumpster. This chair was 20
Why would you
bucks.
throw that out?
Did you throw that in the dumpster?
Yeah, this chair was 20 bucks. This was in the dumpster because there were no handles, but I made these handles out of an old belt.
And it's amazing.
And it works. So when I do small trunk shows, I'll take this and put it on wheels and just roll it there.
Very cool.
It's like, none of this stuff was here. Like these look like they were here, but I built these. This was wood that actually was the original workbench from the powerhouse over here. And when the coffee company moved in, they're like, well, these aren't sanitized.
Right.
Clearly. I'll take them. And they threw all this wood in the dumpster, and I was like, guys, that wood is from 1890. You can't throw that in the dumpster. So I cut it all up,
Good for you.
built that bench, built these benches from some more wood, and then the rest of the stuff I just kind of got over time. Switched all the lights out, added a disco ball, just kind of, like make it cool.
This is
this light is from Crate and Barrel has an art line called CB2, and you can order stuff from their site. But I didn't know that's what that was. Like I looked for it and looked for it. I bought that at the Habitat for Humanity Restore for $39.
Yeah.
But on the CB2 site, I think it's like $3.50.
I'll bet.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Jimmy says,
And it's one of those things where, of course, this happens to me a lot, but I mean, walking through there, I'm like, I wish at a young age I would have really got into some sort of art like that and become this master artist at something,
well, as Billy will tell you, right here, you're never too old, it's never too late to start.
He's so awesome.
He's very wise. No, seriously.
Because I asked him, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
I said, can a 60-year-old woman
You did.
learn to do pottery, Billy? I mean, can I even learn to do this?
And
He's so cool.
And right about that time, he was just expounding wisdom.
Oh
It was
my
like we
gosh.
had climbed a high mountain to see the wise guru, Zen master, and he's just spouting wisdom at me, and I'm mesmerized.
It's so true.
And he goes,
Dee, I can't believe you're not recording this.
because by this point
I
I,
know,
was
we're like,
conserving
"What?"
battery.
Oh,
And I'm like, I can't either, but I
it's
just,
so sad that
yeah.
you weren't recording that, because that was just yeah.
yeah, it was good.
Profound.
But we still caught plenty. I'm just mesmerized. I forgot about the camera.
No, but really, yeah, you can start at any point. Any point.
That's good.
Like today, or tomorrow, or on the way back. I wonder what kind of clay's out there in Arizona.
Well, that's what I wonder too, and because that's why sometimes I feel like, I'm too old to learn all this stuff. Like, what clay do I use? And, it's like, okay, he got me a wheel for my birthday. Yay! Now what do I do?
You got a wheel?
Oh, I got a wheel.
So you just need a way to burn
wheel?
the pots.
I got a wheel. So
Yeah.
every now and then I'll just go and I'm like, wow, I got it centered and it's great, it's amazing, and look what I made. And then sometimes it's like, there is no center. I can't do this.
Yeah. So these things it's funny. Ceramics, like the first time I did ceramics is 1998. And I took a few years off and I came back to it later.
Yeah.
But it's sort of like roller skating. Like you don't really forget. Like you get, your muscle memory gets weird, but then you immediately jump back in. But what I want to say about this is just a tool. This is all it is. But the history of ceramics is so much deeper than that. Like the history of ceramics starts with hand building things. And I hand build stuff all the time.
Yeah, I've always thought it'd be really fun to, sit at a potter's wheel and grow pottery and stuff. And it's like, I didn't even know about hand building until I started thinking about this. And then I start hearing about hand building. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I see things that are built by hand. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I didn't even know. So
You
there's
didn't even know. But before the potter's wheel, that's all that we did. And arguably that's what a lot of people still do. You guys should mash one of these cats up here. Here, mash that into a ball. Come on, Dean, get over here. Drop that cat. And roll this in the ball. Like that. I'm gonna show you that you don't need your pottery wheel in the Airstream.
Okay, I was gonna say, but I have a pottery wheel.
Yeah, no, check it out. And then all you do from here is like make an opening like that, and then your hand becomes the pottery wheel. I literally just posted some of these yesterday on the grams. These little pinch pots.
I think, yes, the pinch pots. I saw that.
Yeah.
But see, I didn't even realize that's what they were called.
Yeah, so that's like a bunch of them that are done. So this is how I make these.
That's amazing.
And then you just like roll it around in your hand. You guys never got to make pinch pots?
No.
Oh my god. So that's it.
They don't get to, nobody let us out apparently.
Oh man, today's the day. You can't leave here not pinch pot. So as long as you keep it
I feel like mine looks like a kindergartner's.
The great part about this is like don't even label it. Just it's one of those experiential things. Like I'm not going to compare mine to
It
these.
can just be whatever you want it to be.
That's right. That's right. This is just your moment. And then all you're trying to do here is focus on feeling how thick it is all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you feel something that's thicker, give it a little more attention. If it feels thin, leave it alone. And then eventually, you'll be done.
And then you get it where you want it, and then you fire it or let it dry. And do
Totally.
you do any trimming or anything after?
Mhm.
Just with these,
No.
you just
These, I just
fire them,
take them to where they go. And so this one, all I want to do is like make sure the bottom is flat on it, like that. And that's that. That one's done.
That's so cool. Look at that.
And you can, like, if you want the rim to be straight, you can just kind of flip it over, drop it a little bit, and then that'll straighten your rim up.
Cool.
Dude, yours is good. It's got
a lot of finger marks on it.
That's what we want. That makes it cost extra.
Only if they're your fingerprints.
No. So then that rim, just get it where it's like real pretty, because you might, end up drinking something out of that. Yeah, and then that's that.
Could be a little water bowl for the dogs.
Aw. So then on the back.
Whatever.
Just kind of, make sure this part is flat and yours looks pretty flat, and then you just want to put your initials, and then I like to put the year. Do it. Ooh, that's good. He's done this before.
What is it? Oh, that's your DH. You're so cool. My turn.
Let's see it.
That's awesome.
I'm doing C.
Yeah.
Cozy Mountain Pottery.
Oh,
That's right.
that's it. And this is what you need next. You need an electric kiln. It's like this is a bigger one. This is bigger than average.
Yeah.
But you can get away with the small one. This is the hard part. Is like interfacing it to a hookup, because it's not. It could be like 280 volts, 300, like something weird, and then you gotta either convert it on the box, or it's all just a mess. Like none of them are 120. Sometimes they're this, where it's like 220, where it's like a dryer or a stove that it plugs into there. Those are great, but that's what you need. Unless you go old school and you decide to like pit fire them, or like Raku fire them, right?
I've seen it.
Yeah, old school is cool. Old school is real cool.
Things like that. I think, I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah, no, you could. You just got to see it once and then learn it.
Well, and I love because the wood fire stuff just.
Oh, that's where it's at. Wood
comes
firing
out
is
so amazing. Just
Yeah.
so amazing.
Yeah, so that's the gas kiln, and that's really the thing. I mean, Todd Leach and his wife Stephanie are so great, and they brought me here, but this kiln brought me here too because it's just so.
It was here?
good. This was here, and
That's
so
cool.
we've fired this thing about 120 times so far.
That's amazing.
And it's always good every single time. Funny story about this kiln that I always tell everybody. When I was a kid, my dad did a lot of different things, but he worked at a place called John Manville that was in Zillionople, Pennsylvania. And I didn't understand this when I was a kid, but what they made was refractory things, right? So like this brick right here, this is what my dad made. These bricks. These bricks are the same bricks that I build these kilns out of. And so when I was in 3rd grade, my dad passed away. It was like a random accident. And he had left this pile of bricks in my mom's garage. And when we sold the house, my mom said, "Do you want those bricks?" And I had just turned like 20 something. And I said, "What are they?" She's like, "Well, your dad made those." And so like I took these bricks and kept them with me. And then I found my way back to ceramics. And then as I started building kilns and stuff, it was just kind of like, talk about screenwriting. Like there was some kind of weird storyline where it's like, well, my dad worked at a brick factory and I ended up getting into ceramics, which is all too just serendipitous. But a couple of these bricks, every time I fire, like we'll brick the door up and then this brick always goes on the top. So it's like,
That's awesome.
gets on
That's
there.
so cool.
We're figuring out ways to make it work, you know, so it's
I mean, that's the thing that I love about it is that it's just original. It's, you know, you can come into a building like this and you can throw up drywall all over the walls and hide it all. Why would you do that? I mean, this is
never did that.
This is its
history. We're writing
know?
a grant right now to replace all these windows back to the original windows. But the estimate that we have for just my windows is $200,000.
Oh wow.
What were the original windows?
They were
like
yeah,
those
they were
over
like
there.
that. They were all glass pane.
These windows are so cool.
Yeah, they're something. I mean, they're windows.
We went and picked up lunch where he recommended.
We did.
After the little tour, and after we left, he started doing his lunch thing.
The pottery lunch hour.
The pottery lunch hour.
So I'm over there getting lunch, watching him doing pottery lunch hour, and he talked about us being there,
He
right?
talked about us being there, and then he was like, the things that he has for sale there, and we're like, why didn't we buy anything?
Why didn't we
while
buy
we were there?
something? Because we were just like so like just blown away by
Mesmerized,
everything that we were seeing and stuff, and it's like we just didn't even, I don't know. So
we went back.
We went back
and bought this.
Bought a mug and a Billy Ritter hat. We'll tell you about that later. It's a secret.
We can talk about it now. Cindy actually bought this for me online.
Yeah.
And it came later, and so.
That's right. We didn't buy it that day.
We didn't, but.
Because I'm not even sure he does these anymore.
He doesn't. He was having like a closeout because he's not doing these anymore.
But Dee wore this all winter.
I got this one. I did. I'm wearing it right now. So it's. I love my Billy Ritter hat.
Yeah. If
you still have them, you should get you one. And then so we had the lunch, and we went to see Lake Erie. Yeah. Cindy had never seen it.
I'd never seen it.
And if you have not seen
like
the
the
Great
ocean.
Lakes, they are great. And
it looks
does
like the
look
ocean.
Like the ocean.
I was blown away.
I mean, waves. You understand once you see it how ships are lost at sea on one of the lakes because it's.
They are?
Yeah, the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
Wow, it's crazy.
The legend lives on from the Chippewa on down of the big lake they call Gitchagumi. That's one of the Great Lakes.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Look what I learned today.
Right. We just got done hanging out, literally just hanging out with Billy Ritter.
Oh my gosh, it was so freaking amazing.
He is so.
He's awesome. If you don't follow Billy, go follow Billy. I'm telling you. I got a Billy mug.
We had to switch to the phone because I used all my battery at Billy's place.
At Billy.
Yeah. So got
Let me show you
tour. There you go. Just got a Billy mug. He recommended a place for lunch, so we went and got lunch. He started doing a live, and he mentioned his cups for sale, and like, Why didn't we buy a
I
couple
need a
of
Billy
them?
mug.
So we went back. Got the Billy mug. We got lunch from Caribe's. And he said,
At his recommendation.
At his recommendation. And he said, you have to go check out the lake from this beach. So it's a little bit windy, a little bit cold.
We couldn't find the lake, but apparently we found the ocean.
Right?
What? This is a lake? Jeez.
There it is.
That's amazing.
I mean, over by the beach, there are literally ocean waves coming off the lake. It's
so
and there's
amazing.
There's a ship out there. So we're gonna have some lunch for a minute and watch the waves. We'll be all in just like Billy. So we did that, and then we went back to Kennesee Lakes and worked some more until it was time to go.
Yeah, that was absolutely the highlight of our time there in the Cleveland area. Yeah. We actually stayed in Jefferson, Ohio, because that's where the Thousand Trails Park was. But I mean, our whole route was planned to go there because I wanted to go see Billy.
Right.
Worth it. So worth it.
It was pretty amazing.
Yeah, he's awesome.
All right, so that is the unusualness for this video. Next week, also a little bit unusual. It's not just a travel day, and we went and did this. We do something really special next week. I'm not going to give it away here.
I'm not either.
Because she doesn't know. She doesn't know what we're doing next week. So we'll give the usual plea that if you like Billy Ritter, go find Billy Ritter on social media. Give him a follow. Say, hey, the Hathaways say, hey. And while you're out there on social media, give us a like and a subscribe. And if you know Billy Ritter, drop a comment below and let us know, and we'll pass that on to him. If you go and check him out and like his work, let him know, let us know, because we are super big fans, and eventually Cindy will show you her pottery work, right?
Yes. And if you are in the Cleveland area, Billy does farmers markets where he takes his amazing pottery to sell. That pretty much, I think, every Saturday, like from, I don't know, April through November, it seems like. I mean, it for a long time. So cool. So cool.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Speaking of got it going on, we got to get going on and get this video put together. Time's
All right.
wasting.
It's been fun. It's been real. Cheers.